these heists. We Ocean's 11 of The Sopranos.
What's the difference?
I'm only doing this because I have to. Not because I'm a bad person.
You're joking, right? Everyone you're talking about is a criminal, including you.
No, I'm not. I'm an engineer. What I'm building is...
Important?
iconic.
Look, anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. Before my hood, I was a nobody. But with it, maybe a little unsavory, but yeah, I'm unstoppable.
We finally got Ironheart. It is available on Disney Plus now. And I just want to say initially, 2 thumbs up. The one thing I love that goes throughout the whole series, in and out, the show was handled with care. I really want to salute the Proximity Media production team. And you know what? I even give a shout out to the Marvel production team because it was handled with care. Unlike Secret Invasion, you could tell that they really cared about the character of Riri Williams. They cared about the world that they were building on. This is a direct sequel from Black Panther to Wakanda Forever, and it's set in Chicago. They really handled the environment with care. They handled the characters with care. They handled the lore with care. The visual effects was handled with care. All the actors earned their paycheck. The whole cast was amazing. If you've been under a rug, you need to check it out right now. Like I said, it's on Disney Plus. If you didn't know, it centers around Riri Williams. She is an MIT student and she's coming home, not necessarily on her own. One thing led to another of her being expelled from MIT because she's so smart and she was getting that moolah. And she has to come home, back home to Chicago. And back to Chicago where she has to face some of her inner demons. She has to face her community, where it's at now in this superhero world, especially after the blip, after Wakanda Forever, after Tony Stark has passed. And then also even with her, she is a young woman, she's growing up. And she has to navigate all those challenges. I really love the character of Riri Williams. One of the biggest things is she is so imperfect. There was a Tony Stark shadow throughout this whole series. They just had to remind you about RDJ and Tony Stark and Iron Man. Out of all the things that we've got since his death, this made me miss him more. Like, this is where I really got the feels, because like him, she is really like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do what's best for the crew. I'm gonna do what I think is best. Now, I would say she kind of reminds me a little bit more of Doctor Strange. Well, no, Doctor Strange, he's like I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy. Tony Stark more so is like, he might be rash in his actions sometimes, but he really does have a good heart. The thing about Riri, which she, unlike both of those characters that make her so unique, she is difficult. She has a community, she has a family, but she also has ambitions. She has trauma. She has the intellect. She has all these things that makes her a really compelling character, and we saw that all throughout the series. The series was split up. It's only 6 episodes. It was split up with the first 3 released in 1 week, and then the other 3 released in the other week. I don't necessarily like that, but at the end of the day, after watching all the episodes, I don't necessarily hate that. I don't like it because I don't think, and this is pointing at Kevin Feige and the gang, do your due diligence to promote, to position her, really just, do your best. Like, you could tell they have some characters that they really, really love. Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, Wanda, that they're really going to give the budget, give the time and attention, really give all the behind the scenes, the clips, do all that. They are consistently giving us Fantastic Four clips. Consistently chopping that 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, all of them 4s, all the 1s, all the 3s. They're chopping it up no matter what. I felt that Marvel could have did that a lot better. Even with Captain America releasing this year, there could have been some cross promotion there. Thunderbolts cross promotion. This has been sitting on the shelf for about 2 years, and so even to have a thoughtful marketing plan, the BET Awards happened, which was a great BET Awards. Why wasn't the cast of Ironheart on stage? I point to the people that's in the room. I point the lack of DEI. I point to all that stuff. We have to Agatha, Tony, Agatha, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts. Characters kind of get lost in the sauce like a lot of these D plus characters were. But this was a really, really strong going. And that's why I think it was really a loss for them, because they really could have promoted this to a high level. Even just the Chicago connections. You have this gang of high tech heisters featuring Shea Coulee. Who else is on there? Zoe, Turks, Shakira Berra, Sonya Dennis, Clown, which was my personal favorite. Manny Montana as John, and you had Anthony Ramos as the Hood. These are this gang that, to me, it really felt like Ant-Man to a certain extent, where you have this great gang, fun, powerful. They're not really so mundane, just like remind me of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where you just had this supporting cast of like, who are these bad guys? Who is this person? I really like the whole cast. I really like this gang. They had a lot of personality. And so I think you could have marketed it with them in mind. Like I should have saw Riri and the gang and the Hood. Alden Enrich, let's just call him that. He played Ezekiel Stain. They all could have had them on the flyer. Zelma, Reagan Aaliyah, Zelma, Cree Summer, Sacha Baron Cohen. I would love to see a poster with all of them. Lyric Ross as Natalie, the AI. And so, yeah, it really down to the marketing, where the episodic thing, the half, the 3 episodes at the top, 3 episodes at the bottom. Yeah, when they split it up, when I was finished with it, I was really glad. I was like, yeah, this could have been a great movie. But despite all that, it was really, really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. One of the biggest things I did like about the plot was the scope of it. This happened in the course of a week or a weekend or so. It wasn't Ironheart trying to save the world. It was more like she was trying to navigate her pain, navigate her surroundings, even figure out what she wants in life. Like she really was focused on, because she could make a suit of armor, but also, Javon had a great thing about, he doesn't think she's exactly a hero. And I think if you ask her to do some hero stuff, yeah, definitely. But I definitely agree with his point, where I think in this show, it was her trying to navigate those things, even with her mom, even with Natalie, even with the community aspect. It was her trying to navigate what she want in life. Does she want to be a criminal? She want to be a demon? She want to be a hero? Especially with all this potential that she had. Initially, how she was introduced to the Hood, they found her, they tracked her down, and they tried to put her in this elevator, which wasn't cool whatsoever. And that's the things that we saw, where it's just like, what environments, what situations does Riri want to put herself in? Where does she want to go? Who does she want to serve? What does she want to represent? And I really think the name Ironheart really was fitting throughout the series. She had the trauma about her stepdad, and she kept having flashbacks and PTSD about that. But she also, the resilience she had to build up about, she was like, maybe we have to fight magic with magic, when she was encountering the Hood and his magic. That builds up that resilience. Not only have an iron head, but have an iron heart, where she has to be the one to stand up. She has to be the one to at least try to, make some resolve, make something out of this, especially the situation that she put herself in. And that's why I said, like, she's not perfect. There was a lot of times I was frustrated with Riri throughout this series. At the end of the day, I really, really enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed it. Even down to her doing the brain scanning and creating Natalie. I was not feeling that, and I'm still not feeling it, like, from, bringing back this dead girl. It started to blend worlds, even the concern about her brother. I was with that with everybody. Like when the mama found her, I was like, man, you can't be having these ghosts running around here. Like you can't be doing it. And yeah, eventually they grown to love her, and to have Natalie running around the the auto body shop outside with her and stuff like that. Man, they know that girl got killed. And then when the mom was like, can you make one of Gary? Can you make one of Gary? I was like, no, we can't make one of Gary. We can't. this ain't even supposed to come here. And that's what I like, because it's like, even her intellect, it reminds me of Peter Parker. It reminds me of Tony Stark, Shuri, where it's like this amazing talent, this amazing brain. What can we get into? Some things she wants to get into. Some things she doesn't want to get into. But I really do like Natalie as an AI, because it also brings out of like, not only somebody hold you responsible, but just not like a Jarvis, somebody that knows you, that have some thoughts, even just how your communication styles. Natalie had memories to a certain extent. It upped the ante when it comes to the AI. I really like that. I really like it. And even with that conflict with Natalie, even her having PTSD herself from the brain mapping, especially when the cop showed up and her glitching out. Like I thought Riri was in real danger when that happened. But I thought that was interesting. Now, of course, as a black man that loves Marvel, the writing was really good, but I hate that I had to always be in these situations with the police and guns. I saw Captain America get ran down this year. Natalie had to go to jail. She had a gun pulled out on her this year. It's just, I'm tired of it. I am tired of it, Marvel. We could be better, creative. You have an iron suit running around Chicago, especially close to these heists. Where's damage control? Where's shield? I don't know. Like that, to me, that's a more interesting gotcha or plot point than the cops show up again and we point guns at niggas. Like, I'm tired, Marvel. I'm tired. One thing I also liked about the series is Ezekiel Stane. Now, I didn't 100% like him being the big bad at the end, not necessarily the big bad, but being him a bad guy turning at the end. This is one of the best ways they've done it. They've done it in several projects like that. I mean, even Iron Man 1 is really predictable. But I was really glad that they did it, because the actor himself, he's a good actor. He wasn't corny. He was genuine. But he had secrets to himself, and secrets to his legacy. And that's one thing I did like. And that's what, even about the whole series, they did some stuff that they normally do in Marvel series, but I think it was really handled with care on this one. I really think they tried to not come off corny, come off complex. Now, do I think it's heavy-handed sometimes? Yeah, but I think that's the Marvel brand at this point. Very heavy-handed. We're gonna look in the camera and be like, yeah, you get it? Message. Yeah, I thought the chemistry with the whole cast was really, really good. I thought we was going to get more from Eric Andre and the gang. I really, really wanted more from them, but they were really, really good. I love Anthony Ramos as the Hood. He was complicated too. I wish they would have filled out his backstory a little bit more. Like we saw it, and even the guy at the end being his dad, I thought it was great. I just thought they could have filled that out a little bit more, but the Hood is really good. Like I really liked him and his cousin, because they also bring the aspect in the MCU, which we've seen before. Just like, everybody's not a hero. There's a lot of anti-heroes in this universe. People trying to get on top, move forward, but also like move. Like they're really trying to build up, trying to take care of themselves, trying to take care of their family, because they have had things taken before in the past. But yeah, Anthony Ramos as the Hood, he's really, really strong, and I'm so glad they did not kill him at the end. We had a little tease with him linking up with Zelma. I love that aspect of the show. And I thought it really brought the show to another level when they dive deep into the magic. Now, I will say, and I'm telling you from Fidel, y'all finessed me. Y'all finessed me. Y'all got a little bit dark. Y'all got a little finesse, and I don't be playing with that witchcraft. But I did like Zelma. I like the ties to to the whole Strange universe. Even her mom, Cree Summer, being a former trainee at Carmitage. And it's not like a early thing. Like, it's not like a thing like we have to do a whole nother origin story. They've already been studying. They already know some things. Even having this shop, that's a spin-off series itself about the candy shop, which was so cool. And so even her working with Riri and then filling that stuff out, and then at the end, the hood linking it back up with Zelma, like, I thought that was really cool. Like, to me, this is how you build on a universe. Like, yeah, they're going more to the magic realm, and let me already say it. Sacha Baron Cohen was really, really good. He was really, really good as Mephisto. I thought he was interesting. It was a lot of intrigue, and that's what I'm kind of missing from all the other series. And I love Captain America, but where's the intrigue? Where's the intrigue? Like, you brought the leader, but he wasn't even sinister enough. Even the Thunderbolts, they played it really safe. Where's the intrigue? I love the big mystery at the end. And so even with that, I thought that was really done well. I hate that from the speculation and what they show, it seems that Riri has taken a deal of some sorts. And I hate that. I think they're probably more so her keeping the hood and using the hood. I really hope she didn't make a deal with the devil. But even that was complicated. Like, she confronted him, and I like, because she really does have an iron heart. Like, she's got to face her challenges no matter who it is, whether it's a guy on a gun with a gun in the street, with a cop with a gun on the street, whether these high-tech thieves, or even this guy who's so charming and so witty, but he's actually the devil. I really thought they really handled that well. And to me, I know they're trying to portray this like, yeah, it's a direct sequel to Black Panther 2, but it felt more out the world of Wakanda and more in the world of, I think, of Ant-Man. I think of course, I think of Wanda with the Doctor Strange. I think of, like, even with the magic. Even it gave me, I don't want to say Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., kind of like Runaways, like Cloak and Dagger vibes. Like, and then she's not a teen, young adult angst, but just growing, being imperfect. A lot of like Spider-Man Homecoming, just like you have to navigate, you have to grow into your suit, you have to grow into the hero, and it's not perfect. This is right along with Miss Marvel, as in, like I said, like, you have to grow into this. But I thought everybody was really good. It was it was a targeted scope, and I really, really enjoyed that. Even the writing, like I said, it was more so along the lines of Miss Marvel, where it was more witty, where it was more on street level. I really, really like that. I really, really like that. Now, like I said, like, when you get to the writing, when talk about Riri and Natalie, she's like, you're just a glitch. You're not a real person. He's like, oh, I know you ain't calling me no glitch. That's clever. Kind of corny. Kind of corny. Okay, just a shade, a sprinkle, a lens of corny. But I'll take it. I will take it. It is what it is. But that's why I'm like, even with the writing, like, I just want better writers in the room. I just want more people from proximity could have been in the room. Shout out Coogler and the gang. Y'all did it. Y'all should really be a managing partner with a lot of these productions, because you could tell that you had extra hands in the room taking care of this. The cinematography, it was really standard, but down to the suits. The second suit was my favorite. The when she had to rebuild it, but it was really, the aesthetics was really Marvel. It really has that same color code, has that same framing. I do wish, I loved all the building stuff. I wish there were more of scenes kind of like Daredevil, where you have these long takes or just these heavy fighting intensive scenes, even down to Dane and Riri fighting at the end. Like, that was good. It wasn't a bad fight. That's a fight that could have been upgraded a little bit more. It was more like a, the Iron Man 1 fight, the Iron Man 2 fight with Whiplash. It could have been brought up a different level, but I did love right before that, they were in the White Castle and they were fighting, and she had to be creative. And then you had like Clown and the two muscle heads, they were fighting. Like, to me, you put them in a closed space. Riri has to be creative. Remind me a lot of Peter Parker. I really, really like that. And that's the level of when you talk about the fighting and the action that I want. I loved one of my favorite scenes from the whole show is "Can't Nobody Love Me Better." That whole scene, I felt like I was watching a movie. I felt the Marvel jitters, the Marvel magic that I used to feel all the time. Even her linking up with Stain, finally getting the suit right, flying over Chicago, hearing the Shaka Khan, like that, I felt it. And that was really, really good. Like those are things I think they can build on more, even from the sound. The soundtrack was really, really good. I thought they could have played on that more. Miss Marvel, I think, got a little bit more fun with the sounds in the soundtrack before this. But like I said, I don't think it was bad. You saw Saba, a Chicago native, in there. Like, it's those aspects I thought they could have built on more. Like, it's a really Chicago show, but prayerfully, which they haven't done yet, and I don't know why, in season 2, it would truly get upgraded. Because and I'll say this, the VFX in this, the practical effects, the design from all the costumes was really good. I thought the hood sometimes looked a little cheeky with him walking around with that hood on. I thought that was kind of corny. I thought maybe could have gave him something else, but it is what it is. That was probably the worst costume, I think. And even I liked it. Like I said, it was corny sometimes. But everybody was amazing, and that's why I really think they handled it. Like Secret Invasion, you didn't feel this type of production. It didn't look like this. It didn't look like just a finesse. It didn't look like Falcon and Winter Soldier. It didn't look like Secret Invasion. It didn't look like some of these things where you're just like, what is going on? I don't think anything crazy looked bad except some of those two that I named. But in this show, it really was consistent. The episode I didn't like the most was like episode 4, and that was really, it's just so trauma heavy, like jail, death. I was tired. I really was tired. But even with that, I do think this was an amazing show for the culture. To even see Riri Williams evolve and grow and her interact in her own universe and then build it up. I really loved it. That really hit home to me. Just with like some of the dialogue with the mom and the moment where Natalie showed her as a little girl how she got that Ironhead nickname. And I don't know if that's exactly it, but she was showing in the shop with her mom and Riri, she was just showing that memory. And that really, you don't really get that in a whole bunch of movies and shows in the MCU. And it was a callback to me for Iron Man when he was making he was on the stage at MIT and he made the virtual reality. It was like a therapy system. To me, that was a callback to that. And that was really good. Just see how far we've came. If you are interested in seeing like high powered action and flawless episodes and dialogue, don't watch this. If you are interested to see high power action and complicated characters and a cast of characters that are unique on their own with some magic and with some mechanics, watch Ironheart. I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. I'm only taking off because Kevin Feige and the crew didn't really do what I wanted them to do, and it's our expectations, but they could have treated this better. But also, like, everything was so well done. It reminded me of Thunderbolts. Even with Thunderbolts, there were some problems, and I felt like it was useless, but it was a good production. It was a good movie. It didn't have a whole bunch of plot holes. It didn't have a whole bunch of funky CG. It didn't have a lot of that stuff. It was a good story, like on the paper, with these characters being developed. And that's what I liked on this one. It was a good story on the paper. It was a good story. Those 6 episodes was really strong. We need a season 2. We need a season 2. I want to salute everybody. I want to salute y'all because y'all did really good. Dominic Thorne, Lyric Ross, Anthony Ramos, Cree Summer, Sacha Baron Cohen, Alden, everybody, Proximity Media, Shekinah Hodge. It was really, really amazing. And I really want more from this universe and these characters that we be introduced. And I really hope we do get more in the future.